Hey, what's up, everybody? Video 44 coming at you with another video. All right, so I feel pretty good, man. As I was saying on the way here, I was watching Red Note app content last night. Was having a great time with that. Encourage y'all to follow me on BDF 44 on there, and we're gonna try to learn Chinese together. That was a lot of fun, but you know, it was one of those situations where I just kind of let it get away from me the time, and I think that's what happens when you get on a new app and you discover so much new stuff that you didn't obviously even know existed. You can find yourself on there thinking you're going to spend 30 minutes and end up on there for 2 hours. That's what happened to me last night on Red Note. And it's just the talk of the town right now, man. Everybody's deviating away from TikTok by force since our country wants to silence all of us from talking about the genocide in Gaza done by the Israelis and America. So they're going to try to push off TikTok as a Chinese-run app that ultimately is meant to spy on Americans and all different types of stuff that, to be honest with you, I don't think American people really worried about. More so the government and their skullduggery and the evil that they're doing. They don't want people spying on them. Ain't none of us I ain't got nothing to hide from the Chinese people. I'm living my dang life, man. I'm having a good time. Follow me if you're from China. You know what I'm saying? Like, what am I hiding from the Chinese people? Not a damn thing. Nothing. You know what I'm saying? And so that's American racism and political jargon that protects criminals who are committing genocide with our tax dollars. That's exactly what I look at, and if you're an enemy to them, then you're probably a good guy. So that's my point of view, man. I don't trust our government as far as I can throw them, and I think most people are with me on that at this point. Most of the people in this generation, we're clear on what's going on there. We know. At this point, none of us are surprised by anything that we see them do, and so naturally, if you tell us that Chinese is on, taking over, we gotta run from that, and this is so terrifying and all this type of stuff. First thing people who in our generation are gonna do is go have a conversation with some Chinese people. see what the situation is, see what the temperature is, what are the vibes, and we know what the vibes were. Awesomeness. That's exactly what we found. Culture, man, lots of it. Cultured people, man, who have their own way of doing things. But a lot of it is partnership with cultures that we grew up on and cultures of our parents and stuff like that. And we can relate to a lot of what it is they're about and deteriorate stereotypes between the two of us. And I think that is exactly what the future is about, man. The world gets smaller, and that is a good thing in regards to bridging the gap between people who are oceans away from one another. And that is something that I'm so very happy to be alive to see, man, and I hope it takes off, and I hope more Red Notes pop up in different countries, and we can, holler at people and bridge the gap and start building some bridges, and that's what it's all about, man. And then tell some stories and learn some lessons and learn some new respect, learn how to respect people. Let them know what we're about and some of the stereotypes that they're worried about or concerned about. Maybe we can kind of make it so that they don't have to worry about that no more, or be aware of certain cultures that don't have anything to do with those stereotypes that they've been shown. Because there's a lot going on over here that a lot of us don't even know. You know what I mean? We're not even fully vested in our own country. I'm sure the same for them. It's just such a vast world with so many people over there. So, there are things that the common people, I'd imagine, don't know, that maybe we got a whiff of. Some of our woken people are getting a whiff of stuff that's going on, and maybe we can open their eyes to, like the Uyghur Muslims. I don't know that a good majority of Chinese people know that that's happening. You know what I mean? And maybe they can do the same. Maybe they're privy to some stuff that we don't know. Maybe they can tell us some things that we don't know about what's going on over here. And that's what this is possible. This is what's possible here. And I can see a world where a lot of stuff that we think happened a certain way, people were fleeing to other countries, and the stories that they really told those people were totally different than the story we heard in our history books about ourselves. That type of thing is possible when you start bridging the gap in social media between countries, between common folk in countries. we can learn, okay, we can put two and two together because now I got a little bit of history that Americans didn't teach us. Okay, so that's why that was going on. So if that was what happened and that person actually went over there instead of over here, oh, okay, so what we were told was some bull crap, but what you know helps us make sense of the bull crap itself. So it's like that's the type of information that is intriguing to my brain. It's what we can find out about the history. You talk about a country, China, that dates back way behind our 4 founding years. They know stuff about stuff that we've probably forgotten about. They ventured off into places that we probably don't even have any record of them going to. And they know history about certain stuff in countries around them that maybe the common people here don't know nothing about. Help us understand ourselves, help us understand some of the things that some of our own cultures a little better and where they originally derived from. Like this is what Hebrews to Negroes opened my eyes to, is the understanding that a lot of what our answers are in places that we're not. A lot of the history that we're looking for may be hidden in the cultures and in the understandings of people we're not communicating with. And to understand that all of these continents were connected at one point, all of them were connected at one point, and they just spread apart over time. A lot of people's DNA and a lot of things that have to do with your distant ancestors' mindsets were and what their belief systems were. Sometimes it stands to reason that some of the things that are hidden are in places that are now separated by water. Answers for this is over there and has long been forgotten for thousands of years because of that type of thing. You know what I mean? So it's a lot of different things that I think can be possible when you start connecting people on an interpersonal scale, if that's a real word. Interpersonal, I don't even know if that's a real word. But when you start connecting people personally on apps and things like that, people who don't know each other, who would never otherwise meet one another, get a chance to connect with one another, get to know one another, share stories, share history, share understandings, blend cultures, and solutions are found thereafter in a lot of cases. So that's what I'm hopeful for, the overall evolution of man and cultures that could be birthed right here, right now, in this type of thing. So that's why I'm very invested in it. I'm enthralled in it. I think that it's a divine thing. I think it's history being made right now. I think dreams of something else that could derive from this culture, this type of blending of understandings, I think could be big and could give birth to other things, man. So that's what I'm here to say, man. Get on Red Note, explore a little bit. I'm, optimistic that we'll find a lot of good things. Of course, just like anything else, when you're dealing with human beings, you got to deal with the spirit of people. Some people are not that great. Some things are not, we fought hard in our country for animal regulations and, a lot of our norms that have to do with what it is that we do may not be the same. Some stuff that we see may shock us or offend us based on just how centered we are in our own rights and wrongs, so to speak, in our own moral compass of what should be and should not be, and vice versa. Maybe they feel the same way when they see certain things that we do. They're just like, I can't get with that in no kind of way because it's the opposite of us. But we can start to understand one another, and I think that that's what has been lacking a lot of the time. Is you just see stuff on there, and you're like, I don't know if that would really fly in America. So I saw something where this dude had content where he slapped a dog in the face. And I was cringing, like, that's not at all cool in our culture. We're not gonna laugh at that. We're not gonna think that's cute at all. That kind of thing. So it's like, this is what we come to understand, that people do things differently. We're not the center of the universe. Our moral system even isn't the center of the universe. Not everybody was raised to think the things that we were taught to believe or have the levels of sensitivity that we have. It's going to be a lot of things that we ultimately learn in regards to this type of interaction between the two cultures that have been separate for so long. So it's intriguing to me, man, to see how we're going to take to them, how they're going to take to us, how we're going to stumble along the way, offending one another while we try to interact. how they're going to have to adjust to the presence of American culture in one of their most main app systems, and then the birth of trillionaires and billionaires that come from this, who are going to see opportunities to make a whole lot of money, which is imminent. I think about companies like Alibaba. It might be a great time to start buying some Alibaba stock. It might be a great time to start buying into some of them old Chinese companies in the stock market that I used to pay attention to, because they're going to see just a natural influx of new attention with the advent of this, or the exposure of this red box to our country. The way that we're enthralled in content creation and culture and all different types of stuff like that, and fads, this is going to create a lot of opportunities to make a whole lot of wealth for a whole lot of people on both sides of the coin in both countries. So that is something that I think is a real thing. New superstars coming, that's for sure. They're going to be birthed on Red Note, I can tell you that right now. New superstars are coming, and then a generation potentially that could be heavily influenced by their culture in a more personal way, and vice versa. So that's going to be awesome, I think, if it takes off the way it looks like it's going to, and probably in unprecedented speed too, to be honest with you. So yeah, American government, you gave birth to something that you probably don't want to have nothing to do with. You probably, this will hurt everything you got going on. The very thing that y'all was capping about is now the very thing that you got to worry about. Chinese government in all of your business. Yeah, you want to lie about TikTok and have us afraid, thinking that that's supposed to scare us away from TikTok because old China's taking over. Be aware, man, we going straight to them. We gonna holler at them. We ain't even listening to what you telling us about China. We're gonna talk directly to China. We tapping in early, and we're gonna see what they're really talking about. And then you're gonna see uprisings there about situations that are happening here, and you're gonna see uprising here in regards to humanitarian situations going on there. And we're gonna see these two countries closer than anybody ever wanted us to be in our governments. I promise you that. They're gonna see us closer than we ever been. So that's what I see coming, man. An alliance of the people, man. And then you're gonna see the world connect even more so from here. So that's what it is, man. That's why I know, like, it's about what ages well in terms of substance and wisdom at the end of the day. Because cultures fade, they blend, norms fade, even moral compasses tend to shift over time. But if you stay close to a greater good above you and stay true to what you understand, which is that compassion is ultimately even something animals even understand, you're going to get further in life and to be able to maneuver through the changes in the cultures, really no matter what changes come, man. You're always going to be a leader amongst followers if you understand who you are, what you're doing, and what is ultimately going to age well. And that's what I believe, man. My mother told me my manners will get me further than money ever will, and I took that to heart, and I look to give respect and connect and share and learn and grow, man. And that's what I think a lot of people are ultimately about all over the globe. It's not what people think. People are looking to evolve. People are looking to change and be coached into positive change in a lot of cases, and be enlightened and be protected by something greater than themselves in a lot of cases. And I just feel like that's what community can ultimately be for a lot of people all over the world. And the expansion of what a human being actually is, what it actually means to be a person. We're still evolving, so this is a part of it, I believe, man. So that's what I want to say, man. That's what's been on my mind. It's a lot of stuff going on internationally we got to pay attention to, including the ceasefire, which has yet to transpire, and all the death that comes with Israel and its intentions. But meanwhile, America is starting to shake hands with China, not as it pertains to the government, but as it pertains to the people. And I think that is very, very dangerous for occupied Palestine / Israel. I think that's very dangerous. That's very dangerous. Because what you don't want, if you're them, is the same energy that's rising in America as it pertains to making changes, rising over there in a way that connects both peoples. You don't want that. Their government probably doesn't want that. Our government definitely doesn't want that. But that is exactly what they've been giving birth to. So I can totally see China trying to shut down Red Note. I can see that coming. We should all see that coming. Because these two countries being friends is not what the powers that be ultimately have worked into their equation at all. So that's pretty much what I gotta say, man. Long live everybody, man. Long live China, man. I want to see y'all succeed, just like I want to see us succeed. Overcome what we got to overcome. Become more humane in how we treat one another, especially those who are being treated poorly right now, man. We just got to change. Normalize treating people with brown and black skin like human beings, man. Stop letting racism continue to have us aging poorly in the history books. BDL 44, I thank you all for watching.